Hi everybody, Jo here again. How are you doing? I hope you're okay. We've reached Friday again, so I hope you've got a lovely weekend planned, something nice. Now, I'm very sorry I'm late joining you today. I had a hospital appointment in Manchester this morning and Carl came with me, thank goodness, and everything's fine, nothing to worry about, just need to go back in a couple of weeks to have a biopsy. But it just means I'm late. It's 2:45 in the afternoon when I'm recording this and it's absolutely throwing it down outside. It's very dark, so if the lighting's not good, I do apologise. Must admit, I wasn't sure what to do today. I wasn't even sure I'd have time to make a little catch-up video to share with you. But I have. And the thing is, what I thought I'd do is I needed to make a tag. It's my mum's birthday on Sunday. And the boys have got her a lovely present. It's in a little gift bag, but there's no tag on it. And I thought I'm going to make her a tag. And when I'd made it, I thought, you know what? That's an ideal little project to share with you. And this is ideal, you know, if your mojo's gone, or I know a couple who've had one lovely lady who's gone through cancer treatment recently. And, you know, I have to say, while I'm thinking on, you know, thank you for your lovely letters and messages I get and emails. And it is so nice to know that you enjoy coming in and just popping in and spending time with me and each other. Because I know you get a lot of comfort from reading each other's comments, which is nice. And it's nice that we have this lovely, safe space. You know, no nastiness, there's no need for it. I mean, we love what we do and we love being here, don't we? I mean, it might be you're not up to crafting, but I'm just thrilled that you like to pop in and, you know, do you talk along with me? Do you answer me back? I mean, I certainly answer myself back. I often say I'm the sort of person I can even lose an argument with myself. I hope I'm not the only one in the world that ever does that. I'm sure there's got to be others. So what I thought we'd do is, when I was going to make a tag for my mum, the little gift bag the boys have got is blues and pinks. So that's what gave me the idea for the colours. And I just thought for a change, we'll do the technique where we leave our focal point without colour and we add the colour around. Now, again, it's not my technique. It's one that's been around for lots of years. You know, if it was somebody's, I would credit them, but I've no idea who did this first. And also, there's lots of variations on it. Today, I'm going to be using my clean colour pens. Again, they're water-based. You could use inks, you could use dinkles, so many things you could use. So, while we get started, I'll just show you watercolour tag. And these are the small ones from Lavinia. Every time I go to do a workshop, I pop a couple in my basket. I always have a few things I need to buy, but I just find they're so useful because the watercolour card, I love that. Now, this is the ShadowBloom stamp. Again, you've got lots of stamps I'm sure that would work well with this. I'm going to use my clear gloss embossing powder. Often, as you know, I love to do this when I'm stamping, and especially if I'm adding colour around or spritzing with water. You've seen me do lots of these sorts of things before. It's sort of my nod to messy. Now, we're not talking Tracy sort of messy, and we're certainly not talking our lovely Sarah sort of messy. You know, none of that. My kitchen roll will be, well, I was going to say clean, and then I looked. You know, Sarah, this is about as dirty as mine gets, you know. We've all seen Sarah's. I mean, if you've watched the videos of the extravaganzas, and we have got one coming up soon, so I hope you'll join us for that. It's going to be fabulous as always. And if you can't join us in person, remember you can join in online, and there'll be lots of giveaways and things. So, and you just get a feel for it. I'll try and get some little videos done, and you know, so you can share, you can join in. Right, I'm just giving that a good press because there's so much detail in that stamp, look. And then put all my embossing powder on because I'm going to put it back in the packet. Give that a tap. You know what I'm like, just tap its bottom. And then we'll just put this back in the pot. And I always say this is just like magic because there always seems to be more going back in the pot. And then we're going to use our heat tool. Now, a couple of you have asked. Now, I know in crafting, we do use different things, and you can get away with having one heat tool. I get that. But a few of you have asked me about the differences. And just to show you, so this is the heating tool, and this is for, in general, for drying things like your tag, your watercolour. It's got a large area here, and you literally switch it on and off. It's also a little bit quieter, so it's good for when you're doing videos. But when you're heat embossing, this tool is actually made for heat embossing. And if you look, it's got a smaller nozzle and it channels the heat. And it's also got 2 settings. So to do it properly, this is the one for the heat embossing. And my suggestion is pop it on the high heat, give it just a couple of seconds. I always feel it with my hand, just to check it's hot, then start embossing. And again, my suggestion is emboss slowly, working your way along, and you'll see the embossing powder change. And that way it works well. So it's a bit noisy, but here we go. So switch it on and let it just heat up. Yeah, nice and hot. And then we'll just start. And I'm hoping you might be able to catch it. And if you can see how it just changes, it almost looks darker. You see the flowers as we go? We'll turn it round. So they go from being grey to looking black. And slowly work your way. Once I've worked my way round, I give it an extra zhuzh at the end. But can you see how they're almost shiny now? And that dark. So that means that's all melted beautifully heat embossed. So that's just the correct way, and it's nice to know the correct way. So once we've done that, we're going to add the colour. And I've gone for my clean colour pens, as I say. I've just gone for 3 random colours. Oh, sorry, I know you're going to want to know. 34 dull blue, 202 peach pink, and wait for it, 81 light violet. And all I'm going to do is colour around the design, and I'm just going to sort of fuzzy the edge. Now this is when you realise how much open space there is with this stamp. As I say, we have got other stamps, but again, just take your time doing this. Just enjoy it. But you don't want a definite edge there. And I warn you now, it will look a bit messy just to start off with. But we'll make it look fabulous, don't worry. Right, so I'm just going to come in here and fill these little spaces in. And again, I'm hoping my head doesn't go. If my head comes in short, I just apologise. And just take your time. And it is quite, it's different, you know, colouring the outside. It's so different to what we normally do. And my little tip is, just, you want a decent area around, not too far. Now you could do it all one colour, you can mix the colours. So, oh, let's do a bit more there. So I'm thinking, let's just bring the blue down a little bit further on this side. Now you'll take your time longer than me. I just don't want to take too long over this. I'm just going to add a little bit of the purpley colour now, sort of the lilac. And don't worry about blending where they meet, because we're going to add some lovely water and do that. So again, this side, and then we'll add some more here. and then in with the pink. Now, I think if you wanted a lovely spring, this would look lovely with yellows and oranges. I mean, I'm wondering about a Christmas version. Could you stamp one of our lovely Christmas trees and add some Christmassy colours? So I'm just going to come a little bit further there. Right, I'm going to leave that there for the minute. And then all you're going to do, bring in, so this is my water brush, look. And it's been in my water pot. And I'm just going to fuzzy these edges. And again, I've got my tag on some kitchen roll, just in case the water spreads off on my mat. And then you see it just catches it on the kitchen roll. And it depends how much water you add, how much, look, you can bring the colours, bring that blue into that purple. And just have a play, just wet that edge a bit more, turn it round. And the same, it's interesting, look at the two edges. So again, this one, look, just go up this edge. Now you could spritz it, but I don't really want to get water on my flowers. So I find it easier with my brush. Now it might be you want to use an actual water brush. We've got the air puffer. It might be you want to direct it using that. I just like using my brush to just sort of fuzzy this edge and keep coming back in. And I've got to be honest, I think it looks a little bit like the alcohol ink backgrounds. So if you like the alcohol ink backgrounds but you haven't got any, this is a way of almost making a faux version of it. And because these are such good quality watercolour card that's used for the tags, you can keep coming back and keep adding the water. Right, let's have a look. See, I love these bits here where it's dried. If you want, you can lift it up. You know, if you want drips. Oh, I like that down there. Right, I'm not keen on that bit there. And this edge is a bit, I want to add a bit more colour across that edge. So maybe pick some of that purple up and just drag that there. That's better. That's a nicer edge. See, I love this bit up here. Right, I like that. What I am going to do is just pick up a little bit of the blue from here and then just add some splats. So again, if I just pick some of that blue ink up, then add some splats, look. Pick some up from there. And again, it's being able to do that. Happy with that. Now, while that's drying, but if I just bring that close, can you see now how easy was that? And you can keep playing, and it's up to you. It's up to you how much I love these bits here. As it dries, I love those lines. But it's your tag. So you can add and play as much as you want. Now, I've got a couple of butterflies already cut out, but I'll show you. So again, this is the mini flutter in my mini flutter tin. So to colour them, and I've not embossed this, you could, but I just found there was no need. And again, I'm saving my embossing powder. And to colour them, I literally, and again, it's so easy. So the wings, I just added some pink. And then either with the blue or the lilac, I'm going to go lilac for this one. I just came on the inside, look. Now, this is just on scraps of multifarious card, so I'm not going to watercolour it. I'm just going to blend with the pens, look. So we'll put the lids on. And again, when I cut them out, leave the antennae. We can draw those on. No need. So I will just leave this to dry because I like it to dry naturally. But all I would do is glue this on with my bippity boppity glue. And then I would just draw the antennae. I do want to put some craft threads though, but I've got a little tip for you. So in my bag with my craft threads, I think we'll have, let's see, we've got a nice purpley colour. Have I got a pink? Oh yeah, there's a pink. Now mine are all mixed up. I know, you see, I'm tidying some things, but for these, I think they can happily just, oh, there's one. Yeah, I think we'll have I got a dark blue? You know, I bet, have you got yours in a nice little, have you got a system? Mine are just in, my lovely friend Anne made me a bag, and they're just in this lovely little bag, so. But when it comes, now I'm just going to dry that off there. When it comes to putting your yarns through, it is quite a small hole to put them through. So I just have my emergency piece of elastic. And this is like, you know, those needle threaders. So all you do is pop your elastic through, put your craft yarns in the elastic, and then, now my card's a bit wet, my tag's a bit wet, but look, that just pulls it through, and it's just that little bit of elastic. And then I can just take these and there we go. I'm not going to pull it too tight at the minute because, as I say, this is wet and I don't want it to tear. But when it's dry, look, we'll pop these two on one of the lovely stickers down here. And then I think I'm just going to add, while it's still slightly damp, we'll add some of the, so either your Posca splats or the mangaka. They're both white, so I want some on my butterflies. So we'll add some of that to the mix. And then when that's dry, I've got myself another tag. So there's that one finished. But I'm sure you can have fun with these. And maybe you want to add it to your journal. But I'd love to see which other stamps you use, because as I say, we've got so many stamps that are useful for this design. And what you're going to use around. And what I think's lovely is, you know, I love that bit when you put the colouring in and it looks messy. And then you add the water. And look at this one as it's drying. Look at these bits here. See, is it just me? I love those bits. So I'd better go now. I've still got my bags to pack for Cumbria tomorrow. Not started yet. I've got to feed and walk Eric. So I think I better get my skates on. But I just didn't want to not pop in and see you this week. You know, I wanted to spend a bit of time with you. So enjoy your weekend, whatever you do. Try and make time for that cheeky brew and biscuit. I know I will be doing. Sunday, that's when it's going to be coffee and cake with my mum. Birthday cake, of course. I won't tell you how many candles. She'd never forgive me. So you take care. Love and hugs from me. Bye for now.